Hi, this is the video that I promised you. This is going to be an explanation of your last assignment for the rest of the school year, the last couple weeks that we have left. I'm going to start off with the Google Slides presentation, and then I will go through some examples, and then I will walk you through the Schoology setup for this assignment. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And if you haven't already seen, I'm going to move my camera over, but if you haven't already seen, your last assignment is going to be visual journals, and visual journals is exactly that. It's journaling, so there's going to be prompts, there's going to be questions that you can ask, or that I'm going to ask you rather, and then you're going to respond to them visually, meaning you're going to draw, you're going to write, you're going to add pictures, find things in magazines, you're going to print stuff out, and you're going to put that in your journal. The next slide, actually, let me get rid of this little thing right here. Just exit out real quick. And then go back in. Sorry. Okay, let's try again. Okay, perfect. So here, it's going to be a quarantine edition of a visual journal. The very first prompt that you are going to be doing is on the coronavirus. And there's going to be some questions that you're going to answer, and there's going to be a reflection sheet, and then you're going to use that to do your first journal spread. So what you're going to hear the steps. You're going to look through this presentation, so the one that I'm presenting right now, and then let's okay, and then you will be going through the presentation, you'll go through the Schoology setup, and then you'll find all the handouts and everything. You're going to gather your supplies for the visual journal. Oh, that's when I move this. Okay, that's fine. You're going to get a sketchbook. It's going to be the sketchbook that we made in class, or it could be a sketchbook that you bought or already had, or some other notebook. It could be a regular composition book. It could be a line notebook. Anything that has lines or dots or whatever is perfectly okay, as long as it's a book that has at least 20 pages in it. Basic art supplies, so pencils, pens, if you have magazines, great, scissors, glue, that kind of stuff. And then I also want you to check the at-home supply list for ideas. That is one of the handouts that is in the Schoology folder that you could look at. You're going to create two visual spreads, so that's two facing pages every week, except for this past week, which was only one, which is the coronavirus, and then the very last week is only going to be one as well. So what do I mean by two, or by a spread, right? It's two facing pages. So when you open up a book, I'm going to pull it up right now. This is my coronavirus one. It's going to be the left and the right of a page. So you're basically the back of one page and then the front of the other. That's going to be your spread. You're going to complete the first prompt, which is the coronavirus prompt, and then you're going to create your spread based on that. For the additional weeks, there is a document that I also uploaded in the handouts folder that has some prompts that you could choose from to develop your own ideas if you wanted to. And then you're going to submit so for this week, you're going to submit just your coronavirus one. For next week, you're going to submit two. And then if you need help, like, you can message me, you can text my Google Voice number, or you can attend my office hours to ask any questions. As long as you're working on your visual journal, like during the designated time, and like putting thought into it, there's like no rules necessarily. I mean, you don't have to work on it technically during our class time, but as long as you're doing that, that's fine. I'm going to go over to the next slide. What is a visual journal? So a visual journal is a book that's kept by artists and by anyone really. That's just a visual record of your thoughts and your ideas. So whatever you're feeling, or if you're studying something, or you're trying to figure out something, you're creating a new project, it's usually a way to combine visual things. So scrap pieces of paper or images, and then also with text, so journal. And then combining those two to create the finished piece. And anything goes in terms of visual journaling, any material. You could use fabric in here, stickers, regular paper or construction paper, anything like that. It's just a place to reflect, to plan, to just brainstorm, and then just honestly be your creative self. Um, the next page, the easiest way to be creative is to try something different, even if you don't think it will work. I'm pretty sure someone famous said it. I don't know if that's necessarily true, um, but it really is the easiest way to be creative is to try something. So I want you guys all to try something new. The next slide. So these are some materials that people use in a visual journal. So sketchbook. So this one that I have right here is just a regular notebook that I was originally going to use as a journal, as a the word. It'll come to me. As a planner. But I ended up going with something different. And then you can see that I have a whole bunch of pages here that I didn't use. I had all this. And then I ended up changing it so that my journaling now looks like this. So this is the very first one that I created. And then this is my coronavirus one. And as the weeks progress, I'm going to be doing the other ones with you. You could use this kind of notebook, again, the sketchbook that we made in class, or if you want to buy one, or you could use a composition book that works as well. And then the computer, that would be it for looking for stuff online, looking for images, Googling stuff, pencils, scissors, Sharpies if you wanted to add color. There's Mod Podge. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually have Mod Podge, but that's something that could work. Or tape, duct tape. There's paints, there's magazines, colored pencils, string even. Some people use string. There's stamps, there's hole punchers. I have some hole punchers too. Or just regular like scrapbook paper. You could also use dish soap to do some bubble printing, which I could show if anyone wants to. Things like that. Anything goes. Before you get started though, I want you to try Googling first. So Google visual journal, Google altered book or sketchbook or mixed media. I'm going to come out of the presentation so I can show you. This is what pops up when I search visual journal in YouTube right here. All these videos, all of these, you could take a look at them. You could see how other people are doing it. This is what shows up when I Google visual journal. There's a bunch of links that you could look at, and then there's also videos attached. Then if you go to the images, there's a bunch of images, there's a bunch of different things. And the topics range from, doing school stuff, or if it's just talking about what they're going through, things like that. So I'm going to go back to the presentation, and then the next slide, it'll be some examples that I have for you. So these are pulled from another teacher. These are some examples of her visual journals. So down here, and then so the next page will be how it was made. So there's just examples. So for example, this one, it was made using a photograph here and then some acrylic paint. And then you could also pull inspiration from quotes and song lyrics. So their song lyrics painted, or the entire pages are painted, and then they are covered in lyrics. Okay, so I'll wait for this to load up. Okay, so you have the background that was painted using ink, and then on top of that, the lyrics were written with a silver sharpie, and then an image was drawn in the middle. And then the next one is again. So this one, some torn pages of an old book were used, marker was used, things like that. And then also experimenting. That's great too. That's a great way to work in a visual journal. So using masking tape, like you see here, or using watercolor. So this is actually tissue paper that they put on here. Um, and then this is fabric that they use, and then a photograph as well. You are more than welcome to use photographs. That's good too. And then sometimes finding inspiration in like personal life, that works as well. So inspiration, it can come from like a quote or some sort of mantra that you want to focus on for the rest of the year and create like a spread around it, or do one on your favorite song, including the song lyrics, music, quotes, friends, like images that you've had. Um, Bad days, good days. And if you have no idea on what to make, you could also make a list of like 16 things that are true and pick true about you, and then pick one or two things, and you could make a personal spread about that. So all of this is in case you don't like any of the prompts that I've given you. So there are 12 prompts on that list. If none of them float your boat, then you are more than welcome to create your own, as long as you are creating two visual spreads. So I wanted to show you an example about the quote, or rather the songs. So I mentioned before that one of the songs that I've been really into this quarantine is "I Love Me" by Demi Lovato. And what I did here is I went onto my computer and I printed out the lyrics. And then I went ahead and also circled some of the sentences and some of the stuff that she said that really resonated with me. That I really like. I felt deep down in my soul, basically. Um, and then I found some images of stuff on online and on Instagram as well. Um, so this is a different one. This is my coronavirus one. So this one, and then this blue one up here, those I actually found on Instagram. And what I did was I took a screenshot of it of my phone, and then I cropped it on my phone. I sent it to my email, and then I printed it out. That's something you could do too. Um, this is the example. So right here is the quote. Down here, I circled right here some sentences. And then this spread was basically about, self love, self discovery, like self reflection. Like I'm trying my hardest right now to figure out where I'm going and what I'm doing with my life. So I pulled out some words and some text from magazines and I put it in here. And then these right here, this like purple and blue, like striped stuff, and then like this gray stuff, all of these are stickers that I had from like my scrapbooking days. So those are all good. Um, and then you have more, so like basically blacking out all of the background and then adding your own stuff. And then here are my expectations from you: that you complete 2 spreads a week, that you experiment with whatever you want. You could even use like ground coffees and like scrub it onto your pages. If you want to make it personal, that's great. But I want you to create like clean and finished looking pages. That means like there was some sort of thought process going on, like you tried to figure something out, stuff like that, so that it doesn't look like you just threw a bunch of stuff on there and called it a day. Um, so now that you've gone through this presentation and that you've gone through all the handouts, um, I want you to get creating, right? I want you to get your notebook and I want you to find stuff. If you have any questions, I want you to send me an email or a message or get permission from your parent or guardian to text my Google Voice number. So you can message me on Schoology or on my email right here. Then that number is my Google Voice number. And what that is just so that you guys don't have my personal phone number, because like I don't want you giving it out, but I know you guys wouldn't do that. So use that number, text me, get permission. I will most likely than not be answering it like as soon as you text me, because I've been on my phone all day, every day since this happened. So yeah. again, I really wish you guys were here, or I was, we were in school so that you guys could ask me all these questions and I could answer them immediately. But I know that's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to exit out of this. And then I'm going to go to the course, and then I'm going to go to materials. So this is how you're going to find the assignment. Some of you have already done this, some of you haven't. It's fine. We're Gucci. You're going to go to online learning due to COVID-19. You're going to click on that. You're going to wait for it to load. You're going to go to assignments and wait for it to load. Then you're going to go down here. So right here, online learning assignment, final assignment. It's this yellow tab or folder. You're going to click on it and wait for it to load. You're going to start here. It says Visual Journal, Quarantine Edition, start here. You're going to click on that, ignore everything else, and wait for it to load. Okay, then you're going to follow the directions. You're going to read. So it says watch the instruction video down below, which is this video that you're watching right now. It's eventually going to go right here. And then below are some examples of what they should look like. And at the very bottom is going to be a link to what inspired me to do this project with you guys. This right here is a link to this video. So if for whatever reason you cannot see this video, you're going to click here. This video, I think it should play. It's just a time lapse. It's a time lapse of me doing my coronavirus spread. So you see that I answered all the questions. I use them as a jumping point to answer or to find stuff, right? I went through my magazines. I looked for stuff that I could use. I cut stuff out. What I eventually did also was I think I printed stuff out and I posted. So that's me looking for these two. And you saw that I screenshotted them and then I cut them out. I printed them. I pasted them. And this is just the whole process. This entire video, this entire process, took me about an hour, maybe less, maybe a little bit more. You see that I made some mistakes in there. I put a sticker down, I wrote in it, I didn't like how it looked, and then I ended up changing it. It's the one right by the Mona Lisa. Let me see if I can pull it for you. So it was this one right here. I had originally put a blank white sticker and I wrote over it, but I didn't like how it looked, so I just did this cleverly disguised as an adult. That is me in real life, waking up for my 11 a.m. Zoom call. That's just real life, and that's fine. Okay, once you're done with this video and this page, you're gonna click next. It's gonna take you to visual journaling handouts. You're gonna wait for it to load. Okay, there's gonna be a bunch of stuff. I do not want you to worry. Again, I'm gonna say this. I do not want you to worry because there's only 5 handouts, but what I've done is I've uploaded 3 different platforms, 3 different modes, versions, editions. I don't know what the word is, but basically there's 3 different assignments. There's 5 different handouts. There's 3 different versions of each handout. One is a Word document, one is a PDF, and then one is the Google version of it. So Google Docs or Google Slides. You're gonna click here before opening any document. I should probably put that in bold letters so that everyone can see. You're gonna wait for it to load. Okay. And this is where I explain, right? Don't worry, 3 formats. There you go. They are only 5 different handouts, 3 different formats. That's all. I just wanted to make sure you could choose whatever format you were comfortable opening. That's it. You're gonna, I would go back to handouts because if you click next, it'll take you to the first document that I uploaded. You're gonna wait for it to load. Okay. So then you're gonna go through, let's go through the PDF because I think that opens it right in here. I could be wrong. No, I am right. Okay. You're gonna wait for it to load. and then you're going to wait a little bit longer. Okay, so here it is. This right here is basically the second slide in the Google presentation that I showed you. Same stuff. And then a little bit about your grade. That's it. That's all this document is. You're going to go back to handouts. You're going to wait for it to load. You're going to wait a little bit longer. And then you're going to go to, so they're all numbered. So this is number 2. I'm pointing it as if you can see me. This right here is number 2. And then you're going to go to number 3. This is the presentation that I just showed you. This one. This one right here is this right here. There's 3 different formats: PDF, PowerPoint, and then Google Slides. Then number 4, what you're going to do is you can click on whichever one you want. I'm going to do the PDF because it opens it up right in here. It doesn't open up like a tab. You're going to wait for it to load. A little bit longer. A little bit, okay. And then it's going to be here. So this document right here is what you saw me writing in that time-lapse video. There's going to be questions. How do you feel about the coronavirus? Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling scared? Why is it making you feel that way? What do you think of the transition from face-to-face learning to online learning? Do you feel confident in being able to keep your continue education at home? What do you think people are going to say when, in 25 years, in 50 years, what are they going to ask you about this? Is there anything else that you want to share or express? So down here, there's 2 boxes. What you're going to do is just list some stuff that maybe you want to come up with, that you want to put in your journal. And then down here, you're going to sketch it. In my time-lapse video, you'll be able to see what I did. I assigned this. I think I got the due dates wrong. Oh, I know what I did. Okay, so I assigned this last week. This due date is for the entire assignment. That's all I did. That's all it is. So these are due the 10th and the 11th. The 10th for my period 2, the 11th for period 11. Period 4, sorry about that. Okay, then you're gonna go back to visual journaling handouts. You're gonna wait for it to load. Okay, and then, so we were on number 4, then we're gonna go down to 5. You're gonna click PDF. I'm actually just gonna open this up in new tab so I can just easily show you so we don't have to wait on loading. I mean, although we're waiting right now. So number 5 is the visual journal supply list. What you're gonna do here is just look it over. If you have some of this stuff, great. If you don't, also great. Do not worry about it. So like adhesives and fasteners, there's glue, there's staples, there's packing tape, masking tape, hot glue, like sewing tools. You could even do sewing tools. If someone in your family sews, you could totally sew into your pages. You could do paper clips. I have paper clips in my sketchbook or in my journal. I have this paper clip right here because this holds some of my old stuff. That's all it is. Items for cutting, scissors, X-Acto knives. You could even rip paper up. That's cool too. Items for collaging. So collage means putting multiple things together to make it look pretty, basically. You could do magazines, which I did. You could do newspapers. Oh, I didn't do that, but that's actually kind of smart. Scrap paper, which I also did not do for any of these, but I did it for other ones. Scrap paper would be like this. This is just a piece of like scrap brown paper that I did. That's fine. You could do wrapping paper. Ziploc bags, you could like staple that into a page where you could put like an image inside. That's cool too. Fabric scraps, that works. Or you could do like printed images that you found online or old photographs. And then we have items for decorating: Sharpies, markers, crayons, pencils, pens, any type of paint. You could do like bubble wrap where you could dip it in paint and then put it on top. Anything goes. Adding text, write with any writing tool on top of your layers. You could do it with Sharpie, like a solo Sharpie on a black background, or you could do like a white marker on a black background, things like that. You could write it on scrap paper and then put it on top of your paper. You could type it and then print it and then cut it, which is I did something. I don't think I did that with text, but I did that with my images. That is perfectly okay too. And then you're going to close out of that one. You're done with number 5. You're going to go to number 6, which is your prompts list. So this is where some of the questions and confusion came from. So what this is, your first prompt is coronavirus. That's what you're first doing. This is going to get either turned in tomorrow or Thursday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. Yeah. I want to explain again though that these due dates, they're not like hard deadlines. They're just to sort of help you keep on track. That's it. If you turn it in a day late, 2 day late, a week late, whatever, that's fine. As long as by the end of the school year you've had these turned in, then you're fine. So you're going to be picking 2 prompts to finish for the week. So this is the first one. You only had one last week. Starting tomorrow or Wednesday, you're going to do 2. So let's say, because I'm going to be doing these with you. So let's say I wanted to do, let's say I want to do a quote. So I'm going to pick my favorite quote and then I'm going to put it, let's say I put the quote like in the middle of the page here, and then the rest I'm adding doodles or I'm adding collage elements or whatever. The next one, I would turn the page, right? And then I would do, let's say I want to do, let's say I wanted to do doodles, right? I'm going to research Mr. Doodle. And I think I've showed some of you guys. So I'm going to research Mr. Doodle on Google and on Instagram. I'm going to look at the work that he does. And then I am going to fill both of my pages with whatever doodles come to mind. And that's literally it. It's drawing doodles, whatever. Keep it PG though. That's all I ask. And that's it. So once I'm done with those 2, I'm going to snap some pictures of them. I'm going to upload it. So for me, I'm uploading it into the discussion thread. For you guys, you're going to take the pictures and you're going to upload them to the submission assignments, which I'm going to explain next. So we're done with that. We're done with this. We're done with YouTube. We're done with the Googling. That one's mine. This is yours. Okay. When you're done there, you're going to go back to final assignment. Wait for it to load. And then here it says visual journal submissions. It says click here to submit your spreads to the correct date, right? This is just one big assignment, but there's multiple submission dates, and I want you to make sure that you're submitting it to the right date. You're going to click on it. So this one right here says visual journal submission number 1. Submit your coronavirus spread journal prompt, basically. So if I were doing this, I would take a picture of this and I would submit it to this one right here. That's all you're doing. When I'm doing my number 2 and my number 3, I'm going to submit it here. Not next week, because number 2 and 3 are being assigned tomorrow. So I'm going to be working on it for tomorrow and the next couple days, right? After that, it's going to be due May 20th and 21st. It's going to be spreads number 4 and spread number 5. That's all it is. I try to make this as easy as possible. What I'm thinking I'm probably going to do is down here in the directions, I'm going to put maybe you should be working on this during these certain dates, turn it in on this date. Maybe I'll do that. Because I did get a couple of questions and they were confused about that. I hope this answers that though. Then you're gonna go back to the video or the folder rather. And then you're gonna go here to visual journal sharing. This is not mandatory. I'm not making you do this. I'm not forcing you, whatever, but I want pictures, please. Like if you want to share yours, you're more than welcome to do it. I uploaded mine here last week. This is my very first one. And then that's it. That's all it is. I'm thinking I'm done. I went over everything. Um, oops. If you guys have any questions, you are more than welcome to message me, to send me a text on my Google Voice number. Um, I'm excited to see some of these get done, so I hope you guys have fun with it. And it's a disclaimer, so I'm going to show you guys again. This is my first one. This was my second one. I am not expecting yours to look like these. If they are, great, fantastic. I, I'm going to love it. But if they're not, then that's fine. I just want you guys to respond to the prompts, and that's it. Like, put your own take on it, put your own twist on it. Like, have fun with this. Use whatever materials you have at home. Um, I I'm not expecting perfection. I never expect perfection. Um, just have fun with it. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna sign off now. I hope you guys have a good day, have a good week, have a good rest of whatever. And then I will be seeing you during your Zoom meetings. All right, take care. Bye.